Welcome to the Sharpest College Football Podcast, our Week 13 review. I am BuckMetrics, joined as always by Robert Martin, and I do suggest if you are listening on earbuds, maybe putting a prophylactic device over them because Robert and I are both feeling a little bit. I think Robert sounds a little worse than me. Robert, good to have
Yes.
you back though.
Yes, it's good to be back. Yeah, my voice is a bit rough. It's just a head cold. It's nothing. My throat was a lot worse a couple days ago. I sound pretty rough, but I actually feel mostly fine. Almost through it now. But yeah, I'm gonna sound a bit grating today, but that's okay. We're reviewing week 13. Not the greatest week from some good games and some not good games involving FCS teams and SEC teams, but some good games. And again, it's the penultimate week of the season, right? We're gearing up for week 14 here. Ultimate rivalry week. Some of the best games of the season are just days away from now. So, yeah, let's get right into week 13.
I, are you sure it's a head cold? Because it sounds like puberty. Is
It's I don't know what hit me. It's just some cold of some sort. I don't know what it is,
Yeah,
but it was relatively minor. It's just like sore throat, stuffy nose. That's it. Done. No
yeah.
fever, no cough, nothing.
And
So
you look fine.
yeah,
Okay, we'll move on. All right, if you're new, this is our glossary. Do a screen grab of it, save it where you save all of your college football stuff. And if you are returning, by now you know you are, by definition, brilliant. Our Week 13 takeaways. Robert, you might have noticed I got a little into the AI art.
yeah. I saw the slides beforehand. Yeah, I think we're being sponsored by Sora now. I think the Sharpest College Football Podcast, sponsored by Nvidia. They also, like when they invested to the $10 billion into AMD, they also sent some our way too.
Yes, and by the way, is there ever a Saturday where you and I don't blog at the same game on our Apples?
Yeah.
With our backs to a game, which include all of 5 players, I might add.
I will actually say this is actually obviously I actually would watch the game, but yeah, like when watching college football, I'm in front of my laptop all the whole time. So yeah, like
Yes.
I do watch. Laptop is part of the watching experience.
Okay. All right. I got couple of takeaways in English. Again, I'm going to ring this bell again. Where's the O in OU?
Yeah,
Oklahoma, man, your offense is just, it ain't working, guys. Look, I know Mateer's probably still got some lingering hand issues. Missouri's got a capable defense, I guess I'd say, not great. But a 72 Apex at this point at home, you got to do better than that. And what really concerns me is this G gap of 26. Look, Missouri's got a good defense against the run, but you've got to be doing better than this. I don't know if it's going to cost him this week. We'll talk about that when we preview week 14. But this is just the limiting factor here. Just the offense, I honestly don't know if it's really significantly better than last year's.
no, and that's the thing, right? I think there's very clearly some lingering health issues with Mateer. He's not been the same as he was early in the season, 100%. Not since that injury against was it Auburn? I want to say it was or Michigan. I think it was Auburn. I think yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he's not been the same since then. And I think the offense has definitely gotten worse since then. Their losses of the season were to Texas basically after that game. It was Texas and it was also Ole Miss, which both happened at Ole Miss a bit later than that. But again, a very clear, consistent trend here. Oklahoma a bit lucky to even be in the situation right now because they took down Alabama. If they hadn't of, we wouldn't be talking about them right now. We'd just be like, okay, but they did take down Alabama, and now here we are. So it's I see them like if they do make the playoff, if they beat LSU, they'll probably be in the playoff. I would not be particularly afraid of them. Like honestly, if you're Oregon, if you're somehow if you're in Indiana that loses in the conference championship game to Ohio State and you don't get a first round bye, if you're Texas Tech, if you're Oregon, if you're like, are you really worried about this Oklahoma team? I don't think so.
Yeah, and when we preview the playoff after the final rankings are out, remember we did a grid last time, and we had all the teams, and I put together here's the offensive defensive rating, and you could just see the units that stand about. Boy, this is just not going to go well for them. And that offense, their defense can keep them in any game, as we saw at Alabama, but I can't see them making it more than 2 games. I can't. They could probably hang with somebody if they get the right matchup with their defense, but that's it. A good season for them. They were 6-7 last season, so it works. It's been working enough, but ceiling's not so high.
Yeah, I've seen some people make this comparison, and I agree with it too. They're just slightly better Iowa, and they're not, but they are kind like it's not untrue. It's not true, but it's not wow, that's wrong and offensive. It's no, that's Mateer's better than Iowa's quarterback, of course. And like their defense is probably a bit worse than Iowa's, but okay, there's clearly some similarities here. Where clearly you won this game because Missouri only scored 6 points. If Missouri had scored more than 6 points, you'd be in trouble here.
All right, next one. Not a big takeaway. This is just cleaning up the notebook here. All right, nominally the starting point of this is North Carolina lost again to Duke this time. Duke, who at 6-5, I guess has some kind of path to the ACC title game. I think that's a whole nother podcast, just the whole ACC scenario.
Yeah.
But what a mess. Did you catch this? I don't know if you saw this story over there about Bill Belichick's daughter, so it'd be Stephen Belichick's wife, got in a shouting match for 40 minutes with Jordan, what's her name? Bill Belichick's girlfriend, in Bill Belichick's office. And I don't know who leaked this. If there's only 4 people in the room, I don't know. Now, it was the New York Post that reported this, so that makes me think it was probably one of the ladies, since it wasn't like a sports periodical. What a disaster this is. And I'm actually awarding them a promotion, North Carolina. Do you remember, I caught this, but I didn't really appreciate how dumb it was when Mike Lombardi, their GM, said that we consider ourselves the 33rd NFL team. Do you remember that quote?
I remember. I think we made fun of that quote back when they got destroyed by TCU.
Okay, yes. Robert, I'm giving them a promotion. I'm calling them the 32nd NFL team because this looks a lot like the Browns, doesn't it?
Yeah, they have probably more stability at quarterback than the Browns do, but only marginally. Only marginally. No, what is this? This is supposed to be a college program. Every college has huge issues with like focus and drama through the year. You could talk to basically any school, like Oklahoma with Mateer getting injured, was he coming back or not? Texas, like everyone has their drama, but very rarely is it specifically around the coach's personal relationships to like his 24-year-old girlfriend who could be a student at the school that he theoretically at the same age that he could be coaching. Like it's very weird. It is very weird. This is not a normal thing. It's very messed up and very weird. And I don't understand why. It's funny because if you remember the first, I think we have a couple new hires after this one, but the first hire was basically Virginia Tech getting James Franklin. And if you remember a couple weeks ago, I had said, "Oh, James Franklin to an ACC school makes a lot of sense." I had actually said North Carolina makes sense. I just penciled in Bill Belichick getting fired. Turns out another one went after them, which is fine, but like I just was penciling in him getting fired, and like maybe he's not getting fired. I don't understand. This has not been good. I guess it's been better than Mac Brown marginally. Not really from a PR standpoint, but I don't know. You didn't lose. You didn't get 7. Yeah.
They won 6 games last year.
Oh, okay. I guess it. Okay, but James Madison didn't score 70 on you this year, so I guess that.
Okay, very fair.
That's I guess slightly better, but TCU did.
Yes.
Pick your
that is
poison.
Improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, the better purple team did. Right?
Yeah. So it's not good. It's I don't know. But like this. These are extremely. There's distractions with Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin is he going to a new school? LSU, like all these other ones have these distractions that come from things. This is completely self-inflicted. No one said, "Hey, go date this 24-year-old and have her bring a lot of drama." Like no one. This isn't part of the package. Like it's extremely distracting, especially for a coach who's I think 73 years old. What are we doing here? What? Okay, yeah, this season wasn't great. Is it going to be better next season? I don't know. Probably not. But is these distractions going to get worse? Yeah, I don't understand why. Because it says they yelled at them, but it doesn't say specifically why, so I don't even know. This is more like TMZ than college football. And like, that's saying something because there's a lot of college football that is TMZ. But I don't know. It's an absolute mess, and if you're UNC, I doubt this is what you thought when you were getting Bill Belichick. This is not what you thought the stories were going to be.
I'm quite certain of that. Yeah. What a disaster. The ACC, this came up with Isaiah. I don't even know, just some ideas here. We have to toss Clemson. We have to toss Mario. If Norvell's back, they have to be tossed. This has to be tossed. The ACC is just, it's ripe for the person who can like pan through the gold enough and find that 12-1 shot. maybe James Franklin. I don't know. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
He did have one conference title at Penn State. He did have one. All right. Speaking of which,
Yeah. So my question is Penn State okay? And okay is like good, still not good, but like they beat Nebraska 37-10. I don't know, was James Franklin going to beat Nebraska 37-10? I don't think so. The stats here are not bad. Ethan Grunkenmeyer, okay, he tried 12 passes. I would like to see more, but okay. But he completed 11 of them, so that's pretty good. I'm not complaining about that number. 230 yards on the ground, 5.9 yards a carry. That's pretty good too, right? Now, obviously, Nebraska down Dylan Raiola. That's unfortunate, but still, though, Penn State, they have a chance at a bowl game. Actually, a pretty good chance when they play Rutgers this weekend. I did not think they were going to be in this situation. I don't think the odds thought they were going to be in this situation either, but they are. I don't know. Are they okay? Like, I don't. Am I going to find myself betting on them in a bowl game on like December 27th? Is that what we're doing here or not? What do you think?
yeah, on what? Talk about pieces that just aren't going to be there. I can't imagine. I just, I don't know. Maybe they make a really good hire who keeps it together, but I think that there's a whatever on the field in whatever bowl. I don't know where the 6-6 Big Ten team goes. I should, since my team was 6-6 last year. Oh, maybe they'll be in the Las Vegas Bowl.
No, it'll be named after some sort of U.S. Army provider or something.
Yes, very fair. I think that whatever takes the field at Allegiant, I think that's the name of the field out there. I don't think it's going to bear any resent. I'll put it this way: I'll be shocked if Katron Allen, and Nick Singleton, and Trevor Pena, either any of them play. Grunkenmeyer, he maybe, but he's going to be throwing to guys like you and me. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
and you're not feeling well. Neither am I. So it's going to be rough.
We're both on the injured list, injured reserve.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I did not expect them to be even this
No.
close to being decent after they've lost to Northwestern and UCLA, but
No,
here
I
we
really
are.
like Nebraska in this spot, and I
Yeah.
was just wrong. They made that Latif kid look really good at UCLA. Not so much in this one. 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, Jim Knowles gets together. A little late, but eventually, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The Sharpest firing range. I repurposed this one, and when I put this together, some news has broken since, but you know what? It's still worth a discussion. So
Yeah.
I'll start with a really important one here, which is UTEP. They have to fire Walden. It's not. There's nothing. There's nothing that you can. I. If your name is Scotty Walden, you're the coach. What can you point to say at least I have this? How do you give up a 20-point lead to Mexico State? Bad, even by CUSA standards, bad New Mexico State. They have to. Usually, I'm one of the guys that says give the guy more time. You being hot-headed Canadian, quick to fire somebody. I'm more the voice of reason, but there's nothing here for UTEP. They have to.
Yeah. This is his first year, I think, right or no?
Second.
Second year. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna go after like some FCS guy, right? Like, I guess.
That's bad. I would say your average FCS coach is going to be better than the garbage that they're putting on the field right now.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably correct.
Yeah. And then to the lesser important, I don't even know why Cal fired Justin Wilcox. There's no manual that says, okay, here's how Cal is supposed to run football in the ACC. I have no idea how that school with those academics in that conference and that level of non-support, who okay, I asked who wants the job, but there's always going to be someone kind of decent who says I can fix it. The bad news, it's a guy like Clay Helton who thinks he can fix it. I have no idea. Usually, I pride myself on being the guy about who'd be good for this job is X or Y. I'm drawing blanks here. I have no idea. Maybe they'll surprise me, but Cal athletics in general has just gone down the tubes, and man, bad move here, I think.
I mean, this firing surprised me because what are you trying to define as like success? What's mission accomplished?
Yeah.
What gets you that banner on the aircraft carrier here? And they're going to a bowl game. I think that's pretty successful. I'd consider that a win for Cal this year, honestly. And they're just going to fire the guys. Like, I don't, I would not have fired him from this. Now, technically, this is according to our firing range definition. I don't even know what the spread in this game was. but it was probably not 21. So for
No,
Stanford
it was
minus
about a field
21.
goal, I think.
Yeah, so this is technically a fireable offense, but okay, like you're okay. Like again, and this is the thing, right? We've seen in the last week a lot of announcements. Mike Norvell is back. Who else? Norvell is back.
Norvell is back, is he?
Yeah,
Definitely.
the FSU announced he's back. Norvell is back. Luke Finkel is back. They have not announced for Maryland has not announced he's back. Loxley's back, so that means maybe he could be gone. But like a lot of these ones have been announced that they're back, so it's okay. But now, and again, just to absolutely clarify here, the reason they are back is because they do not want to hire into this coaching market. Because
Yeah,
one,
exactly.
all the top people are off, a lot of the top people are off the board. Like I think if I'm almost wondering if Penn State knew what the market was going to be right now, they would have kept Franklin. I think they may have. Like honestly, if you knew that it was basically Lane Kiffin or bust, if you knew Dillingham was staying in Arizona State, which apparently he is, if you knew St. Andy was staying at Indiana, if you knew that, like if you knew all where all the pieces were going to be, and you're like, hey, we can get Lane Kiffin or I guess Bob Chesney. Now we like Bob Chesney, that's fine. But like I think a lot of other people don't like him, and I think specifically Florida is going to say, "Hey, we tried to hire a good Sun Belt coach that didn't work out too well for us." So I think it's going to be like there's ones we like, but I think other people are going to be scared off of them. But if you're Cal, who are you going after? Are you just going to go after some FCS guy? Like again, like this is the thing, right? It's just what is mission accomplished here? I think going to a bowl game is fine. I think if you got to a bowl game this season, you say this is great, and then you look at next season and you figure out what to do next season and see if you can get to a bowl, right? I don't know. I would not have done this. This seems like a really bad idea, but all right, you do you, Cal.
Yeah, you ironically answered your own question, Robert. The kind of guys that they would go after would be like the three that you named. Luke Fickle if he wasn't brought back, or Mike Norvell if he wasn't brought back, or Mike Loxley
You
if
know,
he's not. It's like you're getting those kind of retreads. Great. Good job. What's the higher standard that you're holding people to here? I just know your place in the universe, guys.
also just quick one more thing before we get out the slide. I just want to point out too.
Yeah.
Somehow, yet again, Florida also underperformed the spread by 17 or more points. So again, that's the second fireable offense for Florida's interim coach, which is just funny. Doesn't mean anything, obviously, because they have one game left, and what's the point? But I just find that kind of funny that he's done two fireable offenses in 3 weeks on the job, so that's cool.
No, that is. Going back to, you might remember Scotty Walden was interim coach at Southern Miss for all of one game before he just quit, too. So they can be let go. They can be
Yeah.
let go. All right. Now is the time where we become college football Karens and say who we want to talk to. And I just look at AI thinks that not only do I require two phones to talk to people, but we both use our cell phones as we're wearing our headphones. Apparently, AI doesn't get that the headphones are apertures or whatever they are. They're not. They're accessories. They're not part of our actual bodies.
Yeah. That's,
All
yeah.
right. My, Robert, I read this and I was enraged. I was really mad about this. Good quote by my guy, Stuart Mandel. But this is unbelievable. I missed this, and this is why I don't watch the stupid show that's going on like right now when they're revealing the rankings. So Hunter Yurachek, he's the chairman. The chairman. He's the guy who runs the college football committee. Okay, I brought up his brilliant record as AD as relates to football because I will point out he was hired in 2017 and he hired Chad Morris and then Sam Pittman. So under the guidance of Hunter Yurachek, Arkansas football has gone 36-60 and Robles 14 and 51 in conference. So of course, let's make this guy the chairman of the college football playoff committee because if anybody knows what superior football looks like, it's this guy. So this quote just is insane. Let me just okay. Committee Chairman Hunter Yurachek indicated last week that Miami's head-to-head win could still vault them above Notre Dame if the teams between them fall.
Yeah, I don't understand. I want to quickly. That doesn't seem like a sentence to me.
Oh, it's a sentence. It's horrible. They're saying, I forget what the ratings are. Let's say, I think Notre Dame was like 9 and Miami 13.
Yeah.
Let's take a little extreme example here. Let's say that Miami and Notre Dame were both off this week. Okay? Let's also say that teams 10, 11, and 12 all lost. Okay?
Yeah.
So this idiot is actually saying Miami not only move up, but if they move up because they actually beat Notre Dame head to head, now they're better than Notre Dame by virtue of only 3 teams that separating them losing. Does that make any sense at all?
No, 'cause there's like other secondary knockout effects of those 3 teams losing that could either help or hurt Miami or help or hurt Notre Dame. So it makes no sense.
Yes, teams. Just because teams lost, that means that Notre Dame goes from worse, or Notre Dame goes from better than Miami to worse, just because of 3 teams below them that have nothing to do with them. According to this, is the kind of thinking it takes, Robert, to guide your program to 14-51 in conference play.
Yeah, this is one of the things that I don't understand about the committee, and they do a bunch of weird things. But I feel like this is saying that because they've alluded to this a couple of times where they're like, "Oh, we put them in like groups or something, and then we like do tiebreakers in the groups." And I think one of the groups is that one of the tiebreakers is like the head-to-head. So, oh, if Miami and Notre Dame end up in the same group, then Miami holds the tiebreaker for Notre Dame, so they're ahead of them. So that if the teams between them lose, then they're in the same group, and then but that doesn't make any sense because why would that doesn't mean anything. If you think Notre Dame's better than Miami, then Notre Dame is better than Miami. It doesn't matter if
Yes.
other teams like I don't understand. It
On the other hand, you might understand this. You're a pollster. Maybe it's just polling momentum. Maybe Miami just has that polling momentum and they just jump because they jumped those other 3 teams by virtue of a loss.
I mean,
It's really that dumb.
This is the thing, right? And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later too. But so much of this whole Notre Dame Miami thing is Miami won the head to head. They won it by a field goal, guys. Like this was a very close game, last minute field goal. Some random questionable decisions there from Cristobal there to actually almost throw the game too, but they did win the game. It was CJ Carr's first start as a college quarterback.
Yeah.
Like again, a very close game. Could have easily gone the other way. It was at home at Miami too. So again, like if you would play that in a neutral field, could have been a very different outcome. So again, like I think you're putting a massive amount of weight on something that I think very clearly in hindsight is now okay. Maybe Notre Dame maybe was the better team there, or could have been a better team. So yeah, it's nuts how much it's just put on. They won the head-to-head, right? So
That's it. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, so enough for now. We'll get to that in a little bit too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This thing got really small. I expanded this.
Yeah, that's very fair. So I want to talk to the ACC here. What the heck is this? This is so messed up on so many levels. Because one part of the problem is that Virginia and NC State played a non-conference conference game, which just messed up everything. But okay, guess what, guys? The Big Ten doesn't have this problem. They have 9 conference games. The SEC kind of has this problem, but it's less. It's not as big this year because they have 2 good teams, so it doesn't matter. But again, it's a somewhat similar problem when you go to 9. But when you do a massive giant conference like the ACC and you keep it at 8, you get stuff like this. But this is the problem where, like, very clearly Virginia is not one of the best teams in the ACC. They're very clearly not. But yet all they have to do is win and they're in the conference championship game. And then if they win that game, then guess what? They go to the CFP. That's insane that we're at this point now where a team that is not particularly good can just get to the CFP because of by nature of their conference schedule, and the one game that they lost was not a conference game, so therefore, like, that needs to be fixed immediately. SMU is actually not bad. Pitt, I don't even understand why they have 2 conference losses. I don't understand why they're like these tiebreakers make no sense to me. Like, why is Pitt and Miami just out of this? They're clearly 2 of the better teams. Georgia Tech also a better team. Like, I don't know what happened this year with the way the schedule worked out. But somehow Virginia just got like a massive boost of like scheduling against bad teams. I don't understand how you have a system where like the worst teams somehow get penalized for. It makes no sense to me. This is ridiculously complicated. Go to 9 conference games. Fix this. This is clearly messed up. But I just don't understand why somehow the worst teams have the easiest path here to the championship game. And then, therefore, if they win that game, then they get into the playoff. Like, they're just one. Like, why would you incentivize a system where a bad team can just get there by nature of their easy schedule, and then all of a sudden they're your representative in the conference? Like, you should clearly want to fix that. But
yeah, this looks like a pizza order. It doesn't look like a hierarchy for it's okay. So SMU wants or Duke wants what sausage and pepperoni on theirs, or this is all over the place. It's nuts that they play 8 games too, because I think the ACC has 17 teams.
Yep.
Does that sound right? So it's really stupid. Yeah, I agree.
Actually, I just want one more thing I want to point out there at the very bottom there, the little asterisk there. Some scenarios fall under the assumption that the Sports Score Analytics team ranking score favors Miami over Georgia Tech and SMU in a tiebreaker for second place, and Duke in a tie. What does that even mean? Like, we actually talked about the Sports Source Analytics thing earlier in the season. We figured out that the Big 12 was also using it for their tiebreakers, which is great, by the way. But what? How do we not know what team Sports Source Analytics is going to favor? It's just we're just going to compute the numbers and all right, we have this number. Like, why? Like, this is stuff like this is going to be the reason why we go to four seeds per conference, because it's going to be like, this is incomprehensible. We have to fix this, because you're going to get random stuff like Virginia getting in when like every other team was better than them in the conference, and they just won the championship game, so therefore they're the team in the conference. They're the team in the playoff now. Like, this is very clearly how we're going to get to like 2014 playoff with no conference championship game.
Or you would just make championship weekend just play-in weekend.
Yeah.
Where like you have 1, 4, and 2, 3 to play for the ACC's 2 spots.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. All right, victory laps. So, look, I liked to pit last week. That's not really what my victory lap is. I've been saying for quite some time now, and going back, literally, I looked this up. Back in the Week 8 preview, when actually both models had Georgia Tech at Duke going over 59.5, I made the point that Georgia Tech's an ideal over team because they have a good offense and a bad defense. And I bring this up because now everybody's all beside themselves saying, oh my God, Georgia Tech's defense has just imploded recently. Nah, guess what? They haven't been good for a while. It's not just the last 2 weeks. It's been the last month and a half, guys. So, pat myself on the back for this one.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things about that is that their offense just hasn't been able to bail them out as much in the last few weeks, is what it is. Their offense bailed them out against Boston College, just couldn't get it done. They had a pick 6 that was the nail in the coffin this week against Pittsburgh. It's sad because I thought they were among one of the best teams in the conference, and they just have fallen apart the last couple of weeks. Again, they're another victim to the insane tiebreaker scenario thing, where Virginia is apparently a god tier team for some reason, and we'll see from that. But no, I mean, it's sad because I really like this Georgia Tech team. I got insane closing line value on Georgia Tech ACC champion. It seemed like that was a lock like 2 weeks ago. I was just gonna be like, they're just gonna win a couple games, and we're gonna have that like a 14-1 ticket for them, and then that just apparently evaporated last week. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that at all. But no,
that's the thing about conference futures, man. It's just horse racing. You got to get to the wire, man. Last 100 yards is not the wire, and oh my God, it gets really frustrating on the conference. Conference futures are so much fun in August.
Yeah,
there's no downside. It's all just lollipops and rainbows.
Yeah.
And then this time of the year, there's just so much cursing. It's like, you got to be effing kidding me with this, right?
Yeah, I still don't understand exactly what Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh functionally threw the game against Notre Dame, which apparently is legal. I don't know. I didn't know that was legal. But now they just decided to crush Georgia Tech to, I don't know, maybe make the conference championship game. I don't know. What's their strategy? What's their end game? Like, they're just agents of chaos here, I think, at this point.
They want to win the title. They want to go to the playoffs.
But they can't, because they lost to, I don't know, Louisville or something. I don't even know who they lost to. There's no way to know who they lost to. They lost to 2 teams. I don't know which teams they were.
Let's go back. I think their pizza order is pretty simple here.
Win an SMU or Virginia loss. Okay.
Yeah. So they're in third. Yeah, a win and the one of the 2 ahead of them loses.
And then Virginia...
That kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So it's after that is, like this. I started to revisit this thing, but this thing about Duke needs North Carolina to win. That's where that's where it gets nuts. It's okay. That's your agent of chaos there. It's like we need the mole to come in here and ruin everything. All right. My other victory lap, very different kind of victory lap this time. We have, especially if they're listening now, we have extremely loyal and extremely sharp listeners. And this is anonymous. This came during the USC-Oregon game, which was a rough watch. Fun, but rough watch at times. This listener said, hey, no, this is a bad time. I love this. I'm trying to prove to my friend that Jerry Kill is the coach and not Clark Lee. So he asked for some help, and basically the next TV timeout, I sent him this picture, which I featured in the podcast, of Jerry Kill giving advice to people on the field. He's about to argue with the ref about the clock setting, and Clark Lee's just got his hands on the hip, just looking at the scoreboard. I bring this up because, Robert, we officially have people preaching the sharpest gospel now. So, victory lap for both of us on this one.
Yes, we are the evangelicals. We have converted many to our side. No, again, it's going to be. We're only like weeks away from Clark Lee getting a job for some reason. And that's.
Yep.
It's just weeks away now at this point. Again, I cannot wait to see where Jerry Kill is going to go. And I cannot wait to put a massive bet on that team next year. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if he doesn't follow Clark Lee. Say that
Yeah.
he like lands with Brent Key somewhere instead. Yeah. That would be awesome. And by the way, I said, so your friend needs to listen to the podcast since you're showing him the light here. So shout out, Zach, if you're listening. Welcome to the podcast. Become a regular, please. All right. I think this is a mutual victory lap on this one, too.
Yeah, and actually there's news on this, too, because the North Texas coach is now being hired to be the new coach for Oklahoma State. Just a couple hours ago. Now he's gonna play out the rest of the year because obviously Oklahoma State doesn't really matter that much. That's fine. They can wait for him. That's fine. But yeah, no. Shout out to North Texas here. Just now they're the favorites in the American Athletic. I think we got them at what, something insane like 20-1, I think, or something. For the American.
Well, you know what? When we did the pod, they were 22-1. By the time I got to Vegas a week later, they were down to 11.
Yeah.
Not saying the pod moved the number, but I'm not saying it didn't either.
Yeah. No, we definitely have some North Texas futures here, and that's a couple weeks away from that. They're the favorites. 10-1 in the American. Again, a lot of teams in the last couple weeks have let their eye off the ball. Cough Georgia Tech. North Texas did not do that. Just absolutely pounding Rice here. Yeah, can't wait to see what they can do the next couple of weeks. And I don't know if anybody could fix Oklahoma State. It's probably this guy. Honestly, straight up, like. It's not really a great place to be, but you have more resources than North Texas probably.
Yeah, I was thinking he might have been able to get a better job in this market.
I thought so too. It seems to have been underwhelming of a pickup there. I thought it would have been a bigger, but again, you're in the same conference as Tulane, and you're the technically favorite over Tulane. John Summerall's getting all this attention for stuff. Why is he getting it and not the guy from North Texas who's built up this program the last couple of years, right?
I want to look up who his agent is, or his agent, because he can't be. This wouldn't be a Jimmy Sexton thing. Yeah, what? His agents are Alex H, Olivia G, and Austin L. That's interesting. Don't know what agency. This is like grade school. I'm Buck M, and I'm with Robert M here.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I don't think he has one of the major agencies guiding him to that, because I think he could have landed at a place like Missouri, for example, or Arkansas.
Yeah. if their coach goes somewhere else, yeah, he probably could have done a bit better. But maybe he wants to stay at North Texas, Oklahoma State, roughly the same area. Maybe he wanted to stay in that area. Who knows?
Bad agency. I'm sticking with that one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. The thing that randomly bugged Robert.
Love this picture.
Yes. No, I got a smiling picture. I said, this is perfect. I'll overlook the four guys on the ice who everybody is cheering for.
Yeah.
With 2 pucks, by the way. Brilliant AI stuff there. I said, this is great. Just put a scowl on his face. By the way, which hockey team is FC?
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with them.
FC is like football club, so I don't know. It looks a little like the Royals logo, too. I'm not sure why. Like the Kansas City Royals logo, so I don't know what team that is, but that's all Leaf fans. That's the look they have when they watch the Leafs play.
Very fair. All right.
Yeah.
Part 2 of our discussion.
Yeah. So this is now we're gonna complete the circle here on Notre Dame versus Miami. And again, a lot of people were like, "Why is like a lot of people online have been very upset about Miami being ranked lower than Notre Dame because they have the head-to-head, but they should be ranked ahead of Miami, like 100%. Like I don't understand why there's such this huge debate about, oh no, it should be the other way. Notre Dame lost at Miami and at Texas A&M, the current undefeated SEC team that is functionally the favorite to win the SEC. An undefeated SEC team, nonetheless. One of the best teams in the country, clearly. Easily a top 10 team, and Miami. They beat USC, a top 25 team, and Pittsburgh, another top 25 team. Miami, they beat Notre Dame, and I put in bracket Florida. They beat the rest of the entire state of Florida, basically. Florida, FSU, USF. None of them are ranked. Florida fired their coach. FSU should have fired their coach. USF, maybe he's going to get hired somewhere else, but again, it is still USF. So... again, not the biggest thing, but they lost against Louisville, a 3-loss team that got destroyed by SMU and also SMU. So again, like Notre Dame's a better team, like just straight up. And again, we talked about this in the first thing. The loss was by 3 points in early season, easily forgivable. It was at Miami. Like, I don't understand why people are still hung up about this. Like, based on the resume and everything, they should be better. You can't just, like, the whole point of a committee like this, which, I mean, some people will argue it's a good idea or a bad idea to have it, but the whole point is to get to a point where you say, yes, we can distinguish these, although theoretically this should be here, we can adjust that and fix it based on other data that we have. So yeah, Miami did beat Notre Dame, but this, and that's the reason why. That's the whole point of having a committee, not just to like rubber stamp this team beat that team. Because if not, I'll just say, because if not, then okay, where'd you guys rank Texas? You rank Texas 17th, and I want to see Florida 16th then, right? Because they beat them, so there's Florida 16th ranked team, right? So this is the insanity of this, right? You can't just always use that as your objective measure. Because I'm not Florida, and just absolutely to be clear, Florida is not. That's a joke, guys, clearly. But that's the point here, though, right? You can't argue for one of them and then not the other one. That's how insane this is.
I'm glad you brought this up because this has been bugging me for quite a long time, and I want to take this as more of a theoretical question than a theoretical question with a practical example. I see head-to-head as a singular data point, not a dispositive data point.
Yeah.
Let's say that we have Texas and Alabama. Let's say they both finish the season 11-1. Okay. Let's pretend they played the exact same schedule, so they're both 11-1. Okay. Let's say that Texas beat Alabama. So Alabama's loss is to Texas. And let's say Texas's loss is to Bowling Green. Okay? Alabama has the better loss. Texas has a much, much worse loss. So even though Texas won that head-to-head, I have to penalize them so much more for having a bad loss.
Yeah.
It's not even... The fact that this never comes up in any discussion of... I'll just go down this trail again, of these idiots that cover the sport on a national basis and can't really put concept A against concept B and really just do any kind of analysis. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. They all bow at the altar of the head-to-head, and all head-to-head is a data point.
Yeah.
Like, I think if USC had beaten Oregon, I think at that point you're having two teams with basically the same resume.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, even then it's not dispositive, I say that gives a nod to USC. It has to be to that level.
Yeah.
Where it's dispositive. But it's just everything.
Exactly, yeah. And this is the thing, because they always will come up and say, oh, then why do we play the games? And it's okay, Miami, yeah, that's the point they all say then. If head-to-head doesn't matter, why do we play the games? I'm sorry, guys. That Notre Dame-Miami game, that was the Sunday night of the season, the first Sunday night of the season. There's no NFL games that night. The day after opening weekend. I'm sorry, I think we all sat down and enjoyed a really good game there that Sunday night when there was something else on. That was a great game. We all enjoyed that game. That's why that game existed. It wasn't so that we could talk about who won that game for the rest of the season and use it to try to explain away Miami's losses to Louisville and stuff. No, it was a good game, and we watched a good game between two good teams. And, like, Miami could be a good team, but they had some bad losses, and Notre Dame's losses are to better teams, like Miami and Texas A&M. So this is the thing. You can't just always go on and on about the head-to-head, because they do this every year, too. They did the same thing with a couple years ago when it was actually Bama and Texas, because Texas had the head-to-head win. They did that in, God, that was the last year of the 4 team. Was 2023, I want to say.
2?
No, that was the year they snubbed Florida State because of that head-to-head, I think, if I remember correctly. Or was it 2022? I can't remember. It was one of the years. It was literally a Bama-Texas one where they were like...
23.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was literally the one where they were like, oh, it has to be this because of...
Yeah.
Actually, no, they put Texas ahead of Bama, didn't they? For that reason.
Yep.
They did, yeah. And that's the insanity of it. But, like, it is one data point. And I think if you have two teams that are completely tied in everything, then, yeah, who had the head-to-head, they should be ahead. But if everything, they have the head-to-head but nothing else, which clearly is more the case in this case, then, yeah, they should be ranked ahead of them. That's the thing. So.
And, why did we play the games? Okay, so they played head-to-head. Then why did we play the rest of the games?
Yeah.
I guess Miami they won week 0, week 1. That's it, okay. You let you guys play for the 11 other spots.
Yeah, the entire season is just like 182 team elimination. Like 100, like every week we just eliminate half the teams.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah, we get the conference play. I don't know, there's 5 teams left. So let's just see who's left. Okay. Boy, this is good. Did you notice this? So I asked Gemini to put Jimbo in a clown suit. Naturally, gave him a rubber chicken, which I didn't ask for, but what clown act is anything without a rubber chicken? Did you notice the little A&M logo here on his clown outfit? That is just
really
elite.
Funny. That's cute. That's really cute, yeah.
So, I'm dying to know what this little logo is. If that's like a bowl logo, is it like the Sitco Bowl or something like that?
Oh, it
I'm
might
dying
be.
to know.
Yeah, that might be one of the bowls.
All right, I've got an easy one. You were probably in the air when this game happened.
Yes.
I did not know this gentleman, Ryan Doherty. He is the special teams coach for USC, and I will just tell Mr. Doherty that if he gets the Los Angeles Times, he should probably change his description from monthly to daily. I don't see him lasting this one. This was unbelievable, Robert. I'm not one subject to hyperbole, and this is as bad as it gets. This is all right. USC scores there on their first possession, and the ensuing kickoff, kick it out of bounds. Okay, some teams go a whole season without doing that, but most don't. Half the teams probably have that happen at least once in the season, right? It happens. Okay, our next possession, ours. Okay, I'm not being objective here, but I'm in it. USC's next possession, USC punts, and Oregon signals for a fair catch, and someone, don't know who it was, just tackles the guy who signals the fair catch. 15-yard penalty. Most teams will not do that in over the period of an entire season. Fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Third, USC gives up another. We made it. What is this? 9. We made it like 14 minutes without a special teams miscue. Oh, but USC punts and they give up a punt return touchdown by Malik Benson. Very nice return, and the coverage is horrible. The punt, I don't think, got more than like 12 yards above the ground. I'd say about half the teams might give up a punt return touchdown. Fair?
Yeah.
Over a course of a season. Yeah. Now ESPN, I think, took pity on my team here because they didn't even do this. I had to do a screen grab from a video on Twitter here. You see this guy right here in the middle here? He's doing everybody's favoritely named penalty called leaping, where he's basically doing the leapfrog over the center, and you cannot do that. I think teams can go years without committing this one. And what happened here was this actually gave an automatic first down after Oregon missed this kick, which then resulted in a touchdown. The points are adding up here, Robert, and we're not done yet because with 8 seconds left, USC misses. Look, I'm okay with missed field goals, but when they're from 27 yards, I think most teams can go a whole season without missing from inside the 30. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's very fair, yeah.
And I want to point out, Robert, believe it or not, this is all before halftime. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's 4 massive special teams miscues before half. That's nuts.
5. The
5.
leaping.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. Mr. Doherty, I hope you enjoyed your time living in Manhattan Beach, or a special teams coordinator probably is more like a El Segundo, I'm guessing. But been nice knowing you. Enjoy your time in Ruston, Louisiana next year. One more. My gosh. Honest to God, Robert, in my next life, I want to be the CEO of one of these horrible streaming services because apparently it doesn't matter if you know what the hell you're doing. You can just take a dump on your customer's head and it doesn't even matter. I was very vocal about I'm leaving YouTube TV because of the ESPN fiasco. I went to Fubo, and Saturday afternoon I see that I cannot watch the Nebraska-Penn State game because Fubo lost NBC. Good job, guys. You got me for all of 3 weeks. And I went back to YouTube that same day. I actually caught the UCLA game to see the worst fake field goal attempt in my life.
That was amazing.
on YouTube TV. It's unbelievable. It's like these guys just... I don't know if they don't care, if they really want to upset their customers. It's just nuts.
Yeah, I think part of it is the fact that they don't think of themselves as, like with the cable providers in the past, so we have to have these, right? We can't lose these. Like every time there's a debate about this, you just do it. Maybe you increase prices, you get the money back somewhere, but you have to have this. They understand that. But for these guys, they're like, maybe some people won't care if we don't have NBC this week, or maybe some people won't care if we have ESPN, and then it's, oh no, actually people are subscribing to us specifically for ESPN. Oh no,
Yes.
That's really bad. And people are subscribing to us just so they can watch. I think this was they were talking about the Premier League. Oh no, people only watch us for Premier League, and now, oh no, that's bad too. I think they just don't understand their customer base, and I think They're just holding out because they need like with the cable providers, they're always making money. They are always making money on all these packages. Generally, fairly, I think fairly to say, basically preying on older people who just kept the subscription going and going, never renewed, never tried to get a better price deal. They were just feasting off of that money. But something like a Fubo or a YouTube TV, they don't have that. They have much tighter margins, and they're trying to protect those margins. And I think because of that, they're doing really stupid things, and they're costing themselves in the long term here. And a lot of people are just saying, "What's the point in all this? You're supposed to beat cable, and you're now worse than cable, right?"
Yeah. Look, who's going to notice if NBC is gone? Guess what? I love to cook. I love to cook. I sometimes post pictures of my cooking on Twitter. If I don't get the Food Network, if the Food Network disappears on a Wednesday in March, I'm not going to notice, okay? If I can't get NBC on a Saturday in the fall, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Guess what, Fubo? Guess what, YouTube TV? When NBC kicks in big bucks to get some of these, some good and some really bad Big Ten games of the week, they're not going to pay for it. They're not eating that money. They're going to get it from me. And they're going to get it from me through you no matter what. That's just how life and economics works. There's no way around that. There is no way around that. And I don't, again, I'd love to be a CEO and be so bad at economics as these idiots.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on here. I'm done with my rant. I'm going to lose my voice like you. All right. Your Jimbo Award.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Illinois here. What the heck? How do you lose? You get blown out by Wisconsin. Wisconsin's been doing a bit better the last couple of weeks, but definitely not blow out other teams better. This wasn't even close. Look at this stat line. You had two quarterbacks throw for 92 yards. What? How is that? I don't understand how it's even possible. Okay, you ran for 209 yards on 44 carries, which is crazy. But, like, you had two quarterbacks, no touchdown passes. Like, what happened? What happened to this Illinois team? This Illinois team that was so promising early in the season. We weren't that high on them, but we didn't think they were bad. This Illinois team was somewhat competitive with Ohio State for most of a game, and now they just got crushed by Wisconsin. Wisconsin doesn't even have a quarterback. Like, a guy threw 9 for 11 for 75 yards, and he's the quarterback? That's not... He's just, I'm the quarterback now, and they're like, okay.
No, literally a guy. Literally a guy. I want to point out, this is a guy who could beat out neither the objectively horrible quarterback named Billy Edwards, who was bad at Maryland and really bad here, nor could he beat out Danny O'Neill, who was horrible at San Diego State and made them so much better by just leaving the program. This guy was below those two, and you can't stop that offense. Also, I do want to remind you too, Illinois was the first team that we talked about in the Big Ten preview. And we both said, look, I don't care if Joel Klatt has them in the top 10. The season win total is 8.5. That seems about right, if not just a little high.
Yeah.
And look where the airplane's going to land, right at 8.
Yeah. So, no, Wisconsin is somehow okay. I guess not really okay. They're just slightly better than they were a couple weeks ago. But I don't know. I didn't think they could do this with what they have right now, and somehow they are doing it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, they've stepped up a bit since they announced that Fickle's coming back, but it's just not a good team, man. You can't lose that one.
Not this badly. If the last second field goal, like sure, but not 27-10.
No. Yeah. No. Yeah. All right. Lastly, a couple things noted for future reference. As always, I'm taking notes with both hands because I'm just that busy. And probably to keep my hand off the drink to my left there. All right. Tulsa beats Army. Let's not forget Tulsa was like bottom 5 bad last year. Power rating at 10 is not great, but when it's coming from a place at 26.5, that's serious progress. That's literally saying this coach has made your team more than 2 touchdowns better over one season. I was serious when I said, or I'll put it this way, I was not joking when I said that after Trey Lamb's Tulsa Golden Hurricane beat Oklahoma State and got Mike Gundy fired, I said they should look at him. This is a huge improvement. I'm not saying that I think Eric Morris is better. I think that Oklahoma State outkicked their coverage, as they say. Again, if I'm a smart athletic director, I got my eye on this coach, Trey Lamb at Tulsa.
I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. And then, again, I have to remark, Texas getting 52 against Arkansas, great. They can't run the ball. Look, everybody runs in Arkansas. Arkansas's defensive GGAB is 110. Okay, literally, this is teams like Tulsa will run it up and down on Arkansas. Guess who didn't? Texas, a 30 GGAB in the game. Their offensive line is weak. Now, to tease it, is that going to cost them against Texas A&M? Listen to the Week 14 preview. We're going to talk
Yes.
about that one. Thank you for listening, Robert. Thank you for playing Hurt. I will talk to you shortly in the Week 14 preview. We're going to bring in Duck Everybody, a little special treat. So we will see you then.
So yeah.